Some people spend their entire lives trying to be nice. They say yes when they want to say no. They laugh when they feel hurt. They apologize for things that aren't their fault. And still, after years of accommodation, availability, and constant kindness, they feel invisible. Not respected. Not valued. Not remembered. Ignored. This is one of the hardest truths you will ever face. Because being nice and being respected are not the same thing. They never were. And most people learn this far too late, after years of overgiving, overpouring, and wondering why no one pours back into them. The world does not owe you respect for your kindness. It owes you nothing. Respect is earned through presence, strength, and self-command, not through accommodation. Nice people carry a hidden belief. It sounds reasonable. It feels true. But it is quietly destructive. The belief is this: if I give enough, people will appreciate me. So they become over-accommodating, reshaping themselves to fit every room over available, never letting anyone feel their absence over understanding, forgiving everything, even what should not be forgiven. And slowly, quietly, their kindness stops looking valuable and starts looking expected. This is the moment respect dies. When something is always available, it loses its value. This is true of gold, true of time, and true of you. The Stoics understood something that modern niceness has forgotten. People naturally respect what has limits. A river without banks is just a flood. A fire without boundaries is just a disaster. The person without boundaries, no matter how kind, becomes a resource, not a presence. Not cruelty. Not arrogance. Boundaries. When someone says yes to everything, their time stops feeling valuable. When someone accepts anything, their approval becomes cheap. When someone never says no, their yes has no weight. If you want to be respected, you must place a price on your presence. Here is what most people will not admit. Many nice people are not acting from genuine kindness. They are acting from fear. Fear of conflict. So they avoid every difficult conversation, fear of rejection. So they say yes even when it costs them, fear of disappointing others. So they sacrifice their own needs unconsciously. This is not virtue. This is survival masking as generosity. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus said, "If you wish to be liked by everyone, you will be liked by no one, including yourself." When you manage everyone else's emotions constantly, you are not being kind. You are being desperate. And desperation has a smell that people detect instinctively. They will not thank you for it. They will simply use it. When someone constantly adapts themselves to keep others comfortable, a slow erasure takes place. Their humor becomes safe. Their opinions become vague. Their personality becomes a reflection of whoever they are with. They become emotionally safe, but psychologically forgettable. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "A person's worth is measured by the things they give their attention to." If you give your attention to everyone else's comfort at the expense of your own truth, you are telling the world, "I am not worth protecting." And the world will oblige. Watch what happens over time. Someone interrupts them. They stay quiet. They finish their thought later when no one is listening. Someone disrespects them lightly. They laugh it off. They pretend it didn't sting. Someone asks too much. They agree anyway. They resent it later but say nothing now. And slowly, over weeks, months, years, people unconsciously learn a dangerous truth about them. This person will tolerate anything. Not because they are kind, but because they are afraid. And once people learn this, the disrespect does not stop. It escalates. Because human nature tests boundaries. Boys. People respond differently to those who value themselves. Not loudly. Not aggressively. But clearly. A person who protects their time, their energy, and their standards feels more solid psychologically. They are not asking for respect. They are demonstrating it. Seneca said, "If you want to be loved, love. If you want to be respected, respect yourself first." This is not arrogance. It is alignment. When your actions match your worth, people sense it. They may not understand it consciously, but they feel it. A person who says, "I can't do that right now," and means eat. A person who walks away from mistreatment without explaining. A person who is calm but unreachable when crossed. These people command attention without demanding it. Here is a distinction that changes everything. Kindness becomes powerful only when paired with strength. Otherwise, people confuse it with submission. The world does not need more people who are nice because they are afraid. The world needs people who are kind because they choose to be, and who have the strength to be otherwise. Real kindness includes honesty, even when it is uncomfortable, limits, even when it disappoints someone's standards, even when it costs you approval, the ability to say no, without guilt, without apology, without explanation. When kindness has teeth, it cannot be mistaken for weakness. When kindness has no teeth, it will be consumed. Most disrespect starts small. A tiny interruption. A dismissive joke. A last-minute demand. A boundary pushed 1 inch. And here is the cold truth. Your response teaches people how to treat you moving forward. Every time you accept small disrespect, you are training people that larger disrespect is also acceptable. You are not avoiding conflict. You are inviting escalation. Marcus Aurelius again. The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. If your thoughts are, I must keep the peace at any cost, then your soul becomes dyed with submission. But if your thoughts are, I am worth treating well, then your presence becomes dyed with gravity. And people respond accordingly. Here is the uncomfortable truth you must sit with. Some people are ignored not because they are too kind, but because they abandon themselves to keep everyone else comfortable. They traded presence for approval. They traded honesty for peace. They traded self-respect for temporary acceptance. And they ended up with neither. The world does not reward self-sacrifice. It respects self-possession. The moment you stop needing constant approval, your presence changes. You speak more honestly because you are no longer calculating how every word will be received. You set clearer boundaries because you have stopped fearing the discomfort of others. You react less desperately because your self-worth is no longer on the line in every interaction. And suddenly, without you even trying, people begin treating you differently. Not because you became cruel, but because you became real. Do not abandon kindness. Kindness is good. Kindness is necessary. But add strength to it. Be respectful, but stop tolerating disrespect. Be calm, but stop being a doormat disguised as peaceful. Be kind, but stop believing that endless accommodation creates respect. It doesn't. Self-respect does. Here is the practical shift. Start saying no to small things. Today. This hour. Build the muscle before you need it. Stop explaining your boundaries. A no does not need a paragraph of justification. I can't do that is a complete sentence. Let people be disappointed. Their disappointment is not your emergency. You are not responsible for managing everyone's feelings. Show up as your real self. Not the version of you that makes everyone comfortable. The version of you that is honest, present, and unapologetically real. Because the people who are respected most are usually not the people trying hardest to be liked. They are the people who value themselves enough to set standards, trust themselves enough to speak honestly, respect themselves enough to walk away. They are not cold. They are not cruel. They are clear. And clarity, more than kindness, more than accommodation, more than endless giving, is what commands respect. Most people spend years trying to avoid rejection, without realizing that the fear of rejection is exactly what makes them invisible. They hide their truth. They mute their voice. They shrink their presence. All to avoid being rejected. And in doing so, they reject themselves first. The paradox is this. The moment you are willing to be rejected, the moment you no longer need everyone's approval, is the exact moment people begin to see you. Not because you fought for their attention, but because you finally stopped fighting for it. And in that stillness, something shifted. You became someone worth noticing. Better to have a strong character and be misunderstood than to be endlessly accommodating and be forgotten.